With wowie zowie. Okay, so I made up this piece and it kinda like blew up. So I wanted to like do a breakdown to like explain my process because it was I don't know, it was kinda like interesting the way I came up with it. And I don't know, maybe it could help like someone like I'm not saying like drawing better, but just anyone interested in working with this stuff. Anyway, so I was going back from like the Backrooms movie and I really like it. And then the deltarune trailer for chapter 5 came out and it was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Now we're gonna go to another like hype cycle and it was the perfect time to make some good old like memes.
Meme!
And many people like already like made the joke about Asgore being Clark, and I remember someone on Twitter like putting these two in a room together and see if it killed people first. And I was like, yeah, that was funny. I'm gonna do it. So I wanted to like redo the frame of the movie where they're all at the kitchen table with all the still lives in the corner, and I wasn't really sure which character I was gonna pick aside from Asgore. So okay, the first idea I got was to have like some kind of like version of like Toriel in the corner. I wasn't sure how to go with it. Now there are like definitely a lot of like creepy pasta or like horror tale like kinda like version of Toriel out there, or like some kinda like distorted glitchy ones, but nobody really like realistic. But then I realized that the first like Undertale trailer, well not the first, but had that very weird like Toriel 3D model.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
And I was like, no, okay, that's perfect. So kinda like use that as a reference and like redraw it.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, for the other characters, I couldn't figure out which Mary would be because like could have been one of the kids, but like Noel, but then I realized doesn't make it's not like really believable even for Asgore to like tie up a kid to a chair and point a big knife at them. Like that was be straight up psychotic, like more than it has to be. And so this one doesn't really add like any like good like answers. So I really just pick Carol because it's implied that she's kinda like helping Asgore in some way to like get over it, like keeping it as an housekeeper or something like that. Because to like support them. I don't know. We barely know anything about Carol, but considering her she's like much older like member of the cast, and also she got similar like hairstyle but with another color. She could have been like she's probably like the better like option over here. And then there was the wheelchair guy, which I don't remember the name of. I was pretty much sold already that he was gonna be Spanton, and while everyone else got the double like still life version, maybe like point out a joke about like Spantum is like pretty much left unchanged because it's kinda already like a ninja as it is. It doesn't need to be like altered in any way. It's kinda funny. He's gonna have like a lamp, but I wasn't really sure what the lamp is gonna look like. It's not like really like tied to Spanton in any way. So I remember like just typing on Google deltarune and lamp, and of course like well I do have like the impression that I already seen a lamp in this franchise, and of course there is the conveniently shaped lamp like we all know and love. But the problem is that I mean that's come from Undertale, not from Deltarune specifically. But then I realized that there is the fucking rules card like lamp like disguise of the lamp, and I say no, that's perfect. And it's so stupid. For the environment, oh well, I should have also mentioned like Jewel there. It's just Jewel. I didn't have any good ideas with that one. I'm sorry. But for the environment, like I know it was like meant to like be a kitchen, and of course I just grabbed the kitchen from the original, like from the the Dreamers like kitchen, like the one in Toriel's house, and just remade an approximation of the room in Blender, and took a few like renders of it, and then kinda awkwardly like traced on it. It's something I really advise to people who can't who don't really know how to do, or wanna like save time like on perspective. It's not gonna save you all the time, but then it was really cool to like add the mural from the Spamton like shop, if you remember that one, because it was kinda like already like glitchy and unhinged. So I basically just awkwardly like put in and like traced all the drawings on it, and I could have just like slapped that in and like use a like multiply on it, but no, I just wanted to like get it like precise. So, and also kinda like how I made this like very like faded like color, like the almost like the wall is like fading on the background. And probably like the worst part of the piece is like the ceiling, like the grid, it's like, doesn't match it up. But at the end of the day, the best thing about this piece is that any like things that is inaccurate, I can just make up the thing that it was like part of the design, because the backrooms don't make sense. Like they don't have like any like coherent like sense in like design and all. They just make shit up. And the way I usually do like sketches, other than the fact that my sketches are using like very clean, like just because I'm a psychopath or something like that. I usually, the way I do it is just if there are like different like characters or different like environmental like pieces like which are focal points, I will always like color them like differently. And so if I got like two characters like interacting with each other, I would have like the sketch like color with the different like colors. Even with the Asgore sketch, you can see like the character is even like purplish, but the arms is slightly brighter. That is because I drew the arm like on a second layer, like after I drew Asgore, just because then I could like draw it on top of it and get the perspective right, because the arm kinda comes forward with this like close-up like perspective. Also, the rule I put myself to like for like backgrounds and all, I usually would do like that characters and important like details like like would have like an outline and a complex like shading, but the more like they will be like more backgrounds elements, the line art will like be less darker and more like faded, more grayish, more colored. So it almost like look kinda like ghostly. And you can really tell it's supposed to be a background element, like this Victoria's got a blue outline, while Chival over here, which is forward, got a black outline, and it's more shaded and also like has this light that bounces in and casts like a big shadow over here. Though for every like proper like background elements, there is no like outline whatsoever. Oh, thank you, Windows. That's
Bastard, man. Thank you fucking. This is here for the people who I need to kill.
Outline whatsoever. It's just like flat shapes, which are only given in by some like shading over here, which can really tell your eye what environmental detail you should really be focusing on. Also, a really good advice to anyone that wanna like work with like color, like environment and all. The bigger issue like that came to this piece is like that many of like these characters are like very like colored, and this one is also like the fact that it can't really be justified in any way if the colors are like not matching, because if there are some colors that go against each other, it's just gonna look like awful at the end of the day and very like flashy. And now Deltarune is a very colorful game, so I I can get behind that. I really like the character design, but putting them in like the backrooms environment was a bit like difficult. So my solution to that was kinda like pretty much melt the color in and desaturate them, and add this like yellowish like filter to it. So they would still have like the original color, but they would like melt like better with one another. I really recommend you to look at like, you know, backgrounds for like, you know, cartoons like Steven Universe and all to understand the like how coloring works, because like just because like in, I don't know, in school they teach you that the sky is blue and the sun is like white and yellow, and the tree trunks are brownish. It doesn't have to be like that for when it comes to like environment design. Pretty much you can construct like a scene like how it fits, like, and you can like almost find this like escamotage to like make the scene like look way better. And and for this scene specifically, I just took this like piece yellow like Mexican filter, Breaking Bad reference, I don't know, and on the edge of the screen I also had this like grain that makes it look like almost like found footage or almost like ruined somehow. It really adds so much like texture to like pieces that would otherwise have very like flat coloring, because I do know that my coloring is like kinda flat. Also the fact that I made this whole scene in 3D make it so I could clearly see like more clearly how like light bounces between the screen and like how it reacts with the characters. Really like the shade I put here on the Jewel also. It's Jewel or Jewel, I can't remember that. And anyway, I think that's all of it. Like, and to top it all off, I kinda like gave Asgore the scissors, like the gardening scissors instead of the knife, because it was more fitting with the character. But I was originally gonna put like spaghetti code on the plate over here, but because like it was the closest thing like to, you know, that one is white slop that came from the movie. But I realized that we never get like a clear like representation of like spaghetti code, so people wouldn't like have noticed like immediately. So, and overall I think the piece like how it came out like was pretty good. Now there were some like extra issues like with some part of the piece like being like very empty, like especially the table, but luckily enough there was just enough space to add like some dialogue in it to just fill the space. It's if you're doing comic, like you should like plan out like where you wanna put the bubbles like before you're like actually making the piece. For me it wasn't the case. They just came in like I was just lucky enough that they have just enough like space to like that I could feel like with dialogue to like balance out the piece. But anyway, I hope this video like kinda like help you like with some insight or with some sort of advice for like composition. And I really don't know how to end this video.
Shut the hell up, bitch.